I'm Hellertown. Ron, thank you for holding. Go ahead, sir.
Governor, I was watching my favorite cable station today. You guessed it, PCN.
There you go.
And on the floor of the House, the word there, Governor, was that the general fund budget is increasing by $700 or $800 million. You're talking about $1 billion decrease. But on the floor of the House, they were saying it's going up from like 28.1 to like 29.1 billion dollars.
No, that's incorrect.
What's going on there? And then secondly, isn't the pickle that we're in partly, because the general fund budget has gone up by 40% over the last 6 years, twice the rate of inflation?
Well, first of all, let's take the last thing first. If you heard that from the legislature, they're to blame. In 5 of the 6 years that I presented budgets to the legislature, they increased the budget dramatically from the level that I gave them back in February. So if anybody's responsible for that increase, they are. That's number one. But this is not the time to be playing the blame game. This is a time when we have to confront our problems. And in fact, our rate of increase in spending is right about in the middle of the pack of all of the states in the United States, and much lower than Ohio, New Jersey, New York, states all around us. That's number one. Number two, I guess you didn't listen to the beginning of the program. There are some costs that we, by law, can't control. Let me give you an example. Corrections. If judges sentence people to our state penitentiary system, for every prisoner, there are a few prisoners that come in, we have to hire a new prison guard. We have to increase our prison health budget. We're required to do that by law. For every older person in their 70s who comes in to the state Medicaid program, we are required to accept that person and give them treatment. And for older Pennsylvanians, it's very expensive. Well, we have a very old state, and the rate of people in their 70s and 80s coming into our Medicaid program keeps going through the roof, and we're required to make those payments. We negotiated a very fair contract with our unions. They only got a 3% raise. That's about the rate of inflation. But that's $92 million more that we're required to pay. So most of the increases in the budget are mandated services over which we have no control. Let's take administrative spending. In the 6 years that I've been governor, we have saved on the administrative side of running the government over $1.75 billion a year on an annual recurring basis. That's number one. Number two, in response to what the listener said, the information you got was false. In fact, this year's spending, because of the reductions we've had to make because of the shortfall, is a little bit more than $26 million. Next year's spending will be reduced from that number. Now, part of the reason it gets reduced is we're getting federal aid, and that has to be understood. But the legislature is, when they tell you that there are increases in the budget, there are, but those are because of mandated services, things that we have no control over. And I want to refer him to one of our earlier callers who didn't want us to cut in education funding, wanted us to increase education funding so that the local property taxes wouldn't go up. Well, of course, we try to increase education funding for two reasons. One, to help student achievement, and we have a great record of improving student achievement. 30% more students are at grade level in reading and math, Francine, than they were 6 years ago. And secondly, because we want to hold local property taxes down. So if they're telling you that, they're telling you the untruth, and you can look at it. The budget book is available, I think, online, or will be available in the next day or two. You can look and see exactly what the expenditures are for this year and next year, and the state general fund budget goes down despite the fact that certain things have to go up, and we balance those by the cuts that we have to make.